Most people live their lives as if they're going to live forever. And if you asked people, are you going to die one day? They would say, yeah. Logically, they know, logically they understand the concept of death, and logically they understand that one day they'll die. But emotionally, they are not connected with it. Most people, anyway. Emotionally, they are not connected with the very finite nature of their lives. That it's temporary and also unpredictable. Most people have in their minds the idea that they're going to live until old age. And while that might be true for most people in the West, it's not true for everyone. And people have the idea in their mind that, yeah, okay, some people die young, some people don't make it to old age, but not me, and this is also not conscious, but in their minds, they ask yourself, do you think at an unconscious level, are you thinking wow, yeah, today could be my last day? Or are you thinking, yeah, I'll make it to old age? Chances are you think that you're going to make it to old age. I'm not trying to scare you here. I'm trying to wake you up to the fact that you actually don't know, and it's unpredictable. And the reason that I say this is because most people defer their happiness to some point in the future, to a vague point in the future on top of it. Not in 2 years from now I'll start living the life I want, but it's not even something that they usually think of. It's just, oh yeah, at some point in their mind, there's a part of their mind telling them yeah, at some point, I'll start living my life. And if you were gonna live 1 billion years, then sure, why not? Why not just coast for 2,000 or 3,000 years, just do, not really do what you want, because you got another hundreds of millions of years to do what you want. But you don't. You have, at best, you have 100 and something years, at best. But it's not necessarily going to be that long either. You could die at 40. You could die younger than you think. And again, the reason that I say this is to implore you to start living the life you want now, today. Because there's no reason not to. The only reason that you might have not to is fear. You might be afraid of what people think. You might be afraid of failing. You might be afraid of whatever. Maybe you want to be safe, and that thing that you want to do, or just the life that you want to live in general, maybe doesn't seem as predictable and not as safe. But were we put on this earth to be safe? Is that the primary goal of life, to be safe? Or is it to fucking live? Are we here to be safe, or are we here to live? When you get to, let's say you do make it to old age. Let's say you're 109 and you've got 2 weeks left to live. The chances are you're going to be looking back and you're going to be asking yourself, how did I live my life? And you're going to be judging the way that you lived your life. Do you think you'd be more likely to regret having people judge you, or not living your life? Do you think you'd be more likely to be fuck man, I lived in a way, I made decisions and I lived in a way, and some people Some people didn't understand me. Do you think you'd be more likely to regret that people didn't understand you always, or the fact that you didn't live your life? Do you think you'd be more likely to regret having made some mistakes and having lost some money here and there and experiencing failures? Do you think you'd be like, oh man, yeah, like I failed too many times. I should have played it safer. I shouldn't have tried to do those things that my heart was calling me out to do. I should have played it safe. I should have stayed at that company that where I had that job that I hated, that was destroying my soul. I should have kept that paycheck, and I shouldn't have tried. I should not have tried. Do you think you'd be more likely to think like that, or do you think you'd be more likely to think, why did I waste my life at that company? I had nothing to lose. I would have just tried, and then maybe it wouldn't have worked out, in which case, I could just go back to not doing what I wanted, or I could have continued and kept trying, but like now that I'm 109, I see that like I had nothing to lose. This is your life. This is not anyone's life but yours. This is not your friend's life. This is not your parents' life. This is not society's life. This is your life. You were born to live your life. You were not born to avoid judgment. You were not born to avoid discomfort. You were not born to avoid the things that evoke fear inside you. You were not born to avoid fear. The primary purpose of life is not to be comfortable. I would say the primary purpose of life is to live your life, right? To be happy. And it just so happens that to do that, sometimes it means that people will judge you, that you'll feel uncomfortable, and that you'll feel afraid. Are you gonna be 109 and be like, wow, I lived such a comfortable life? I was always aware of my comfort zone, and then I always made sure I stayed within it. Wow. And then whenever I noticed fear inside me, I was always like, oh, okay, fear. And like I had such a good, it was like fear was my master, and I was like the pupil, and fear, whenever fear commanded me and was like, don't do this or do this, I was always like, yes, master. And that's so nice. So nice. I'm so happy about that. Your life is finite. Your time here is finite. And this is the only opportunity that you're gonna get ever to be who you are and to bring out what's inside you into this world. And you have absolutely nothing to lose. So go do that thing, go live your life, go be yourself. And maybe some people will not be happy with that. Maybe you'll discover that as you start being more and more yourself, some people that you used to resonate with may not resonate with you anymore. And maybe that's part of the fear that you have as well, because you know at a deep level that if I start really expressing who I am, then I might rub people the wrong way. People might not resonate with me anymore. To that I would say, you're absolutely right. Because when you don't live authentically, you attract people who are not authentic into your life. And when you start living authentically, you might find that those people you don't resonate with as much anymore, because when you did resonate with them, you were not being authentic. So as soon as you start being authentic, maybe that person, and maybe you feel it too, there's not as much harmony now. And that's a good thing, because you've just repelled something, someone of course, but you've repelled something that was not for you. And when you start really being who you are, the people who are truly supposed to be in your life will be really attracted to you, and those who are not will be repelled from you, both of which are good things. So live your life. You have nothing to lose. And you might be uncomfortable sometimes, you might feel fear sometimes, people might judge you, but guess what? They're going to judge you anyway. Whether you're authentic or inauthentic, you will be judged, because that's what the mind does. That's what people do. So would you rather be judged living a life that's not yours, or judged living a life that is yours? That's it.